Welcome to Smart Okasan TV, your #1 top channel for the latest updates on Biafra news, things going on in Biafra land, and the hottest trends in entertainment. As you are about to watch this video, try to like, subscribe, comment and share for orders to see.
Thank you very much. I give the microphone back to you. Keep on doing good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to this channel. Please don't forget to like this video, comment, share and subscribe. Africa. When we did leave Africa for Africa, we have witnessed so many times when some African leader try to develop Africa through Africa. We have seen the case of Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso in the 80s. We have seen the case of Mulumba, Muammar Gaddafi. Majority of them, they went the same way, like assassination. The recent one we are witnessing now, and the most popular one, is the one that is happening in Burkina Faso, talking of Ibrahim Traore. And there has been a lot of assassination attempts on his life. The one that is paining me most is the recent statement from Macron, the Prime Minister of France, that said that Africa, we have not matured enough and we cannot develop Africa by Africa, that they need to continuously involve. What do you have to say about this?
That reminds me of the arrogance of the French, the arrogance of Macron, the noted story of France government always sitting on the fence when it comes to decision of what issues. We are looking at the nuclear treaties that have been signed, and we are looking at what United States of America under W. Bush then wanted to achieve in Kuwait, Iraq and Iran. At that time, you know, they will look at the coalition of forces and allied forces. France, that was supposed to play a major role, was sitting on the fence until George Bush think otherwise and went straight and did what he wanted to do. So France has been seen as a very big loss, damage, deficit when it comes to European trade economy. You know, they are not as sophisticated as Germany within the European world context. Let me put it that way. But if you look at the source of Paris, the source of their strength, has always been colonies that are in Africa. According to them, they are the one that said it is colonies. We don't know what they mean by colonies. You understand? They said it is colonies. We colonized them. And Nigeria, Ghana happens to be the only country that did not fell into the hands of the French colonization as at that time. But if you look at the countries within the context of West Africa, let's say Africa, that fell under the French colonization, you will notice that most of them has not taken a step forward. They are still crawling the way Nigeria is still crawling. But unfortunately, quite devastating. You saw this system, neocolonization, in France by French government, squeezing the entire African colonies under French colonization, making sure they never breathe, making sure they never survive. But I think somewhere along the line, an agenda started, a voice rose from somewhere, and we'll begin to trace that voice. Where is that consciousness coming from? Remember, somebody said, truth is an open wound. Only
truth can heal it. That is Madame Fodio.
Yes. Only truth can heal. Yes. So the fact we are saying is not. We need to understand that those facts we are seeing now can be made to be factly. The black nation, I've always been an advocate, of the black man's rise in Africa, in terms of black man's consciousness, black man's mentality, black man's reasoning, and you can see some of the greats of Africa, talking about Fela Nicola Kuti, still championing Africanization, blackanization. So you can see all the people in the past, leveraging on that. And remember, black discovered and and made America what it is today. You know, most major cities in America are being founded. Chicago, Texas, name them. They are all being founded by the blacks. Wall Street, New York was founded by a black man. A lot of things, black man has contributed a lot, but unfortunately, civilization that started from Africa, you know, they were able to, take it from one level to other, and they are now selling our own civilization that was brought to us. You know, quite unfortunate that somewhere along the line, the black man lost it. But the regaining force has already been deposited in every black man's consciousness as it stands now. You know, emancipation of our mental slavery has been done. So what we are witnessing now is the rising of the fresh in the consciousness, like in the lives of Nnamdi Kanu, likes of Ibrahim Traore, and so many of them like that, and people like Ghanaian Adams, and so many, so many of them like that. There was this other guy, Patrick Lumumba, who speaks so well. There's this other guy from South Africa, trying to awaken that consciousness, that black man. It is high time that black man has what it takes, to discover and rediscover himself, and that's what black people found in that young man called Ibrahim Traore, who have shown that in the continent of Africa, the black man can rise. And you can see how he was able to begin to show that it's not only the whites that have something to offer in terms of leadership.
Yes.
The black man also have something to offer.
We can offer
too.
The whites.
And not only that, we can sit down and say, this is where we go. This is how we come from. Adopt our own language. We don't see Japan speaking English.
It's not
we don't
possible.
see Germany speaking English.
French don't speak English.
They don't speak English. You understand? But here, we say English now. If you don't pass English, you go to hell. But that is it.
If you made a mistake,
yes,
they'll be laughing at you.
Our culture and tradition is being sold as a result of this colonization. And anything that's going to bring that consciousness, back is what we are seeking for, and that is decolonization. That decolonization agenda has already been championed by some consciousness, within the leadership space. And let me tell you, Traore is not going to step back. Yes, because they played a smart one on Africa. Of course, the squeezing of African resources by the French government and other Western powers has been resisted, and that was why we are seeing a massive turnaround within the West African region that is now called Sahel Revolution.
Mr. Chinedu, surprisingly, France that doesn't have any gold mine as one, is number 3, country that has gold deposits. They have, third largest gold reserve without having any gold mine. What does that one telling you?
It is the exploitation in Africa that has kept most countries in Europe threatening us with arms, threatening us with suppression, threatening us with trade war, as if our life depends on them. Africa has the resources to become a global world power, and that was why a lot of people are already championing a modern nation. See, I keep on saying it. Africa needs a modern nation that people can look back and say, yes, like America, we are taking up this decision based on what we have seen done by a black man. Nobody has done it. The only one that tried to put a statue, a legacy, something, a trademark, something, footprint, Nelson Mandela. You can see how everything is still moving from left to right because the black man does not know how to be independent. And that is why we are saying that Donald Trump, United States of America, please share this video. We are not against anybody, but can they excuse us for now? Allow our black man breathe. Allow black man goes into the deep. Allow black man discover that necessity is the mother of invention.
Because I lied and America started having issue with Ibrahim Traore now, which I wonder what can cause altercation between America and Ibrahim Traore. Maybe because demand feel that we don't need America, we can develop on our own?
I think the major problem is the alliance that Sahel Revolution has attracted.
Okay.
You know, what was carried out was purely a Sahel Revolution. You know, and of course, that was what created an opening for the Russian government to come in. You know, for the Chinese government that's already discussing something secret behind the closed doors about America. I'm talking about Xi Jinping, you know, the president of China currently now. You know, I saw his post after Nnamdi Kanu's last court trial, you know, signaling an identification of what is going on, notification that something like this can be possible, you know, if we are able to have a level of certain agreement based on this, based on that. But what I'm saying is this, you know, if you look at it very well, Putin acted very smart, and of course, you understand, because he was being threatened by the European powers and the Western powers, and he felt that the only ally that can come to him in terms of trade, you know, not in terms of trade, economic power, you know, consolidating, you know, on his economic potential to launch attack on any force that is threatening the USSR or the Moscow or Russia in that angle. So he was able to make sure that he established his bloc very well in Africa, and 14 times assassination attempt, you know, was destroyed by the you know, KGB of Russia. You know, because Putin gave a mandate that you only thing I want is for you. He called Ibrahim Traore, my son. Protect him, my son. That is my son. Protect him. So what a young boy of 30-something years doing outstanding, he does not move with convoy, he does just a normal life. How many children? I think you're talking about 2 boys or 1 girl or 3 girls or 1 boy or something like that, you know, a moderate family or nothing. But he said clearly that we are not in democracy in Africa. You know, we are in a revolution. If you look at what he's trying to say, a revolution against, you know, African consciousness. That's what, and Macron is the only president in the world that came out and said Africa can never be free. I remember when Israel wanted to invade Rafah, the same Macron said you cannot do it. If you do it, it means Israel is gone. And I thank God for somebody like Benjamin Netanyahu who damned the consequence. And that was where they found the Hamas leader, to tell you. And we are getting it from a very reliable source that, you know, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu's second term ambition is under threat because he was not able, you know, to crash, bring back the Sahel back from ECOWAS. And also, you know, he was not able to invade Niger so that to continue the gas pipeline, Sahara pipeline contract, which it was a major, you know, hit that the Russian government used against, you know, the Western world, signaling that Russia might have consolidated and put a stop to that Sahara gas contract, and making sure that he also have a larger market share in the global market when it comes of gas supply to Europe by Gazprom. So, you know, that's what we are saying, you know. So, from what we are saying, Russia gave this Sahel Revolution, you know, a free hand to operate in their countries. You look at Niger is turning around now. A lot of things, you know, consciousness are beginning to come.
Is that Niger? I wanted to
Niger, yeah, well, people are surprised. Is this actually, does Niger actually have this potential? You know, a country we see as an extremist nation, and they are becoming liberal. People are beginning to, you know, get involved in the economic system and development of that country.
Niger Republic surprised me by it. Stop using France, I mean, as a language, French as language, and they adopt Hausa language as their official language.
They never adopted Fulani because they are against Fulani. That's a global outcry, you know, by the Sahel region. That is why this man always send message to acknowledge Nnamdi Kanu on most of his statements he made. You know, most of his write-ups. You know, look at what the kind of write-up he sent to Vatican City when the Pope, you know, passed on. You know, look at the beautiful script he wrote. You know, meeting the Pope for the first time. What happened? How the Pope has always encouraged the consciousness of black man in Africa to wake up. You know, calling for that consciousness to rise. And look at this people now who are championing from that angle. And look at it now. Bola Ahmed Tinubu should understand that, you know, there's always an error in everything, and this is era of our black man's, you know, consciousness. You know, when consciousness comes, you begin to ask yourself, who am I? What is really the problem? How did I get here? That consciousness has come, you know, and that consciousness is what is triggering massive protests all over Africa by the black people against, you know, the Western rejection of decolonization of Africa. That's what it means.
Before we go, even France has so benefited from this African of a team. Look at their national football team, always dominated by black. This guy that is playing for Madrid now is from Africa. Look at historically, look at Thierry Henry. You will see that majority of the even Zidane was from Africa. Do you see it stop because of what is
everything has been taken the other side, you know. That's what it means, has been recovered by the Sahel Revolution. Let me put it down. I keep on saying it. It was the Sahel Revolution. You understand? And that Sahel Revolution, from the signal we are going, is going to lead to the balkanization of Nigeria. Everybody will stay on their own. You know, the forces of Biafra will now see how they are going to go into bilateral. Why can you have a country you don't have a central bank, and your central bank is somewhere else? It's somewhere else. Everything you do, you know, apart from food, they they claim that it is a cheap food. But what they are taking from Africa, you know, it does not quantify the kind of whatever service they return in terms of, you know, bilateral, in terms of trade, in terms of what competitive cost advantage. So they make Africa and so that's why I'm telling you, you know, it is dangerous for us to be seeing this kind of a thing in Nigerian politics. You think that people are decamping? They are not decamping. Something is going on. This decamping you are seeing, it's in two ways. We should not be blindfolded when they bring this kind of confusion at the end of the day. So we are in solidarity, you know, of the Sahel Revolution. We are in solidarity of the recognition of Biafra. We are also in solidarity of the man of the moment, the most popular leader in Africa now, Ibrahim Traore.
Before we go, there's no way we'll not talk about the recent meeting between Fulani and America. Did you see the news?
Yes.
What does that one telling you?
I saw it, and I told you, no, that was a CIA arrangement very clearly. And some certain information need to be digested. You know.
Next time you need to use your ID card.
Okay, sir.
I'm the senior chairman here. Next time you need to use your ID card. I know you are from journalism.
Yes.
Use your ID card, or else you will be picked. Because they are robbing in this area now.
Wow. That's too bad.
Also your ID card.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So that's the fact, you know. So the thing is, we need to get to that level of reality, and we need to get to that level of emancipation. We need to emancipate ourselves before the Western world will look at it and say, okay, then they are coming with their this thing. We negotiate on whatever area we feel that we can negotiate, and that is it. But coming to, you know, impose and continuous colonization of Africa will be rejected.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for tuning in to Smart Okason TV show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share to keep the intellect flowing.